Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week Wisdom and Legacy Building podcast. Today is day 496 of our trek, and it is Wisdom Wednesday. Every Wednesday along life's trail, we will dig for the nuggets of wisdom found in the book of Proverbs. Today, we will explore the first half of chapter 25. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. Our trip to Arizona was beneficial and productive. Our construction project there is coming along fairly well, although inevitably there are many issues that come up that cause delays. We are hoping to have most of them resolved by the end of this year. The developers for the project desire to be able to place the townhomes on the market in early 2017. Fortunately, the housing market in Phoenix is very strong at the moment and is projected to be one of the fastest growing housing markets in the entire U.S. during 2017. It does take a lot of wisdom, insight, and understanding to complete a project of this size, and being able to work closely with our partners in Mesa is very helpful for the success of our overall project. Every day of life, we should seek out advice from those individuals who are wise. Advice provided on a timely basis is even more important. One of the nuggets that we'll dig for today is in verse 11, which says, "Timely advice is lovely." Let's start our check today as we cover verses 1 through 14. And this section is under a title called More Proverbs of Solomon. And verse 1 tells us, "These are more Proverbs of Solomon collected by the advisors of King Hezekiah of Judah." As indicated, this chapter contains more Proverbs of Solomon, which were collected through the years and then published by King Hezekiah many years afterwards. These Proverbs were of particular interest to somebody who was the king of Judah. Verse number 2 tells us, "It is God's privilege to conceal things and the king's privilege to discover them." God is all-knowing, but he does not share all he knows with us, and that is his privilege. God does enable us, and especially those with wisdom, such as a king, to discover some of this information. Verse number 3, "No man can comprehend the heights of heaven, the depths of the earth, or all that goes on in the king's mind." Although we have made great strides and progress on discoveries of both the depths of the ocean and the heights of space, there's so much more that we do not know about both. In the same way, it is impossible to know the mind of a wise king or any wise individual. Verse numbers 4 and 5. "Remove the impurities from silver, and sterling will be ready for the silversmith. Remove the wicked from the king's court, and his reign will be made secure by justice." Just as silver must be refined by fire to remove its impurities, leaders must remove individuals from their organizations that are causing problems. For a king or any world leader, it is important that the leader's advisors are pure and not corrupt. Verses 6 and 7. "Don't demand an audience with the king or push for a place among the great. It is better to wait for an invitation to the head table than to be sent away in public disgrace." When we have an opportunity to associate with individuals of authority, we should not assume that we are of the same status or try to position ourselves into a position of authority. It is better to be humble and not seek prominence. If it is due to us, then we will be recognized when it is appropriate. Verse number 8. "Just because you've seen something, don't be in a hurry to go to court, for what will you do in the end if your neighbor deals you with a shameful defeat? As observers of life events, we should take precautions that we do not make rash assumptions before fully understanding the situation. If we make false accusations, then we will be the one who looks like a fool." Verses 9 and 10. "When arguing with your neighbor, don't betray another person's secret. Others may accuse you of gossip, and you will never regain your good reputation." First, we need to be careful that we do not argue needlessly. If we do have information about another person that's not for public consumption, then we should not repeat it regardless of the circumstances. If we do, it will lead us becoming a gossip and ruining our reputation. Verse number 11. "Timely advice is lovely, like golden apples in a silver basket." Wise advice is important at any time, but when it is provided to us when it is most useful, then it is just like a beautiful table setting, very appropriate and valuable. Verse number 12. "To those who listen to valid criticism is like a gold earring or other gold jewelry." In addition to receiving timely advice, if we listen to it, even if it may be critical of us, then it will adorn us like beautiful jewelry. Verse number 13. "Trustworthy messengers refresh like snow in the summer. They revive the spirit of their employer." Verses 13 and 14 provide us with a couple of weather metaphors. Just as refreshing as snow would be on a hot summer day, good news received from a trustworthy person is refreshing to our soul. And verse 14, "A person who promises a gift and does not give it is like clouds and winds that bring no rain." Now, if you've ever experienced severe drought, You understand how hopeful you become when you see clouds and feel the associated wind that should bring rain. When it does not come and the clouds are blown past, the disappointment is huge. It is the same knowing a person who has promised you a gift that you really need and anticipate, and then they do not follow through. Today on our Wisdom Trail, we are exploring a series of Solomon's Proverbs that were assembled by King Hezekiah. These Proverbs continue to provide us with more wisdom, insight, and understanding. Regardless of where you are in your faith walk, if these precepts of Proverbs are followed, you will have a life that is rich and satisfying. Take these truths and plant them in your heart so that you'll reap a harvest of wisdom. Tomorrow we will hike another short trail of Wisdom Unplugged, where we will discover an inspirational wisdom quote. So encourage your friends and families to join us and then come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. That will finish our trek for today. Just as you enjoy these daily doses of wisdom, we ask you to help us to grow Wisdom Trek by sharing it with your family and friends through email, Facebook, Twitter, or in person when you meet with them, and invite them to come along with us each day. I would challenge you today to take just one of the precepts that we learn in Proverbs and commit yourself to applying it into your life. The journal for today's trek is available at wisdom-trek.com, and thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.